Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Amma ba'd. Ahabati fillah, as a reminder for myself and my brothers and sisters, the importance of just remembering in general that Islam is for everyone. And it doesn't matter your race, your that big old lizard scared me, or any other thing which we usually have prejudices towards, but that it is for everyone to accept. But that means you're accepting Islam. Islam is not just accepting you. You are accepting Islam. Islam does not necessarily accommodate you in everything that you believe. For example, Islam doesn't accommodate false ideologies. You can't combine shirk with iman. You can't say, I want to worship Allah and other than Allah. I want to be a Buddhist Muslim or a Christian Muslim. No, that doesn't work. But rather, Allah Azza wa Jal has given us Islam and guided us to iman but we have to get rid of the false beliefs and ideologies, those things which take us away from the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have to accept Islam. Islam does not have to accept us. For example, people who have various sins that they struggle with, it's on you to try to remove the sins and struggle fighting those sins. But it is not for Islam to accept your sin. And I was reflecting on an ayah. Those are natural drones. They're some sort of strange, like grasshopper thing that flies around, and he's like a drone. Oh, wow, that's a beautiful bird. Never seen that before. I don't know what that is. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, في كتابه الكريم يا أيها الناس اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Baqarah, he says, Ya ayyuhan nas, he addresses all of mankind, and that's what I mean. Islam accommodates, has a place for everyone, but they must accept Islam. Not that Islam has to accept their evil. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses mankind. Ya ayyuhan nas a'budu rabbakum. Worship your Lord. Alladhi khalaqakum. Who created you. Walladhina min qablakum. And those who came before you. La'allakum tattaqun. In order that you will have taqwa. La'allakum tattaqun. Look how many ayats Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encourages us and orders us to do the things that will give us taqwa. All throughout the Quran, Allah Azza wa Jal requires that we worship Him and Him alone, and various types of worship will bring about taqwa Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala within us. For example, when we look at fasting, which we just came from the month of Ramadan, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says and tells us what one of the maqasid of fasting is. One of the objectives of fasting is to gain taqwa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says في كتابه الكريم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. لعلكم تتقون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says في كتاب الكريم, يا أيها الذين آمنوا, O you who believe, fasting has been prescribed for you, similar to the way it was prescribed for those who came before you, meaning those other nations, those earlier nations. لماذا? Why? لعلكم تتقون. In order that you would gain taqwa, you would attain taqwa. Taqwa, habati fillah, as we've said in hundreds of videos, for those who listen to my videos, then they've heard it enough times, they're probably going to turn it off. Those who haven't, taqwa Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as defined by some of the Salaf as-Salih, and some of our ulama, they reiterate this very important point, is that taqwa Allah azza wa jal, this fear of Allah azza wa jal, this taqwa, is adhering to the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and avoiding his prohibitions. Adhering to the commandments of Allah azza wa jal and avoiding his prohibitions, avoiding those things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prohibited us from. هذا تقوى الله subhanahu wa ta'ala. لعلكم تتقون. So accept Islam, and Islam will accept you if you submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد.